I want you to imagine for a moment that your joint health is like a bucket of water. When you're young, that bucket is full, strong, and it doesn't leak. But for many of us, after the age of 50, that bucket starts to develop small, slow leaks. That water that's leaking out is your body's collagen. And the aching, the stiffness, and the swelling you feel in your knees and legs is the feeling of that bucket slowly running dry. Today, we are going to talk about how to start refilling that bucket. To guide us, we are so honored to have Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara with us. Doctor, thank you for being here to discuss this.
Thank you for having me, Ben. That is a perfect and simple way to describe the problem. Many people think their only option is to try and plug the leaks with pills or painful injections. But there is a much wiser and more natural way to approach this. We can also learn how to pour more water back into the bucket. And we do this by eating the right foods that give our body the exact materials it needs to make its own strong collagen again.
Pouring more water back in. I love that. And that's exactly what we're going to teach everyone today. Dr. Hinohara is going to share his collagen rebuilding system. We've broken down 10 powerful foods into 3 very simple categories to make it easy to understand. First, we will talk about the collagen builders. These are foods that literally tell your body to make more of its own collagen. Second, we will cover the direct collagen sources. These are foods that are rich in collagen that your body can use. And third, we'll look at some surprising modern options you can find right in your local grocery store. It's a blessing to know that nature provides so many simple ways to help our bodies heal themselves. If you are ready to learn how to start refilling your body's collagen bucket and find relief from that nagging joint pain, please type the number 1 in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free. And this guide is incredibly practical and could bring you a lot of comfort.
Let us begin with the first and most important category in our collagen rebuilding system. Before we can bring the building materials, the collagen itself, to the construction site, we must first make sure we have enough skilled workers on site to actually do the building. For our body, the most important worker for building strong new collagen is vitamin C.
So we're starting with the workers, not the bricks. That's a great way to think about it, and it's a step that most people completely overlook. When people think of vitamin C, they usually just think of oranges or their immune system. Why are you starting with broccoli, doctor?
Because broccoli is a true powerhouse of nutrition that is available all year round in America. It is not only one of the very best food sources of vitamin C, just 1 cup can give you more than your entire daily need, but it also comes packaged with fiber, other important vitamins, and a special compound called sulforaphane, which is a powerful anti-inflammatory, so it does many jobs at once. It is also very easy to add to any diet. You can steam it, you can roast it, or you can even eat it raw with a healthy dip like hummus.
And let's be very clear for everyone watching why this vitamin C worker is so non-negotiable. Collagen is made of long chains of amino acids like threads. For those threads to be woven together into a strong, stable structure, like a tightly woven rope that can support your joints, your body needs specific enzymes to do the weaving. Vitamin C is the essential key that turns those enzymes on. Without enough vitamin C, the collagen your body produces is weak and fragile, like a rope made of loose, unconnected threads. It simply can't support your joints properly. This is why just taking more collagen without also making sure you have enough vitamin C can often be a waste of your time and money.
That is a perfect explanation. It is about teamwork. And this brings me to another wonderful source of these vitamin C workers, and to the important story of a patient of mine named Mary. Our next group of foods is berries, especially strawberries, but also blueberries and raspberries. Mary was a 68-year-old woman from Texas. She was being very proactive about her health. She had read about the benefits of collagen and had been taking an expensive collagen powder in her coffee every single morning for almost a year. But she was very frustrated. She came to me and said, "Doctor, I spend all this money on this powder, but my knees still ache every single morning when I get out of bed." I looked at her daily diet. She was eating well, but she was not eating much fresh fruit. So I told her to continue taking her collagen powder, but I asked her to do one simple thing in addition to add 1 full cup of sliced strawberries to her breakfast every day. Strawberries are one of the richest and most delicious sources of vitamin C. She was skeptical. She asked me, how can a few strawberries possibly make a difference? But she agreed to try. A month later, she came back to my office, and she had a different energy about her. She said, "It's the strangest thing. This last month, the powder finally seems to be working. My morning stiffness is so much better. The strawberries did not contain the collagen, but they provided the thousands of workers her body was missing to finally be able to use the collagen she was taking. It was the missing piece of the puzzle."
That story is the perfect real-world example of synergy. It's not just one thing, it's about how things work together. The research from Harvard that was mentioned in the source material completely supports this. It shows that the powerful antioxidants in berries also help to protect the existing collagen in our bodies from being broken down by chronic inflammation. So you get a 2-for-1 benefit. You are protecting what you have, and you are helping to build what is new. It really shows how these simple God-given foods are designed to work in perfect harmony with our bodies.
And the wonderful thing about berries is that they are so easy to enjoy. You can put them on your morning oatmeal or yogurt. You can blend them into a healthy smoothie. Or you can simply eat a handful as a delicious and healthy dessert. It is a very pleasant way to hire more workers for your joints. So we have now hired the workers for our construction site by eating wonderful foods rich in vitamin C. This brings us to our second and very important category of foods. We must now deliver the building materials themselves. These are foods that are naturally rich in the very collagen that our bodies need.
Okay, so this is what people often think of first eating collagen directly. Where do we find this in our everyday common foods, doctor?
One of the simplest and most accessible sources, which is a staple in the American diet, is our next food skin on a chicken. In modern times, for many years, people were taught to fear the fat in the skin and to throw it away. But for joint health, the skin is one of the most valuable parts of the chicken. It is very rich in natural collagen. The same is true for the cartilage and the tendons that you find around the bones.
This is a fantastic point, and it's especially important for the health of our knees. Chicken, particularly the cartilage from the bones, is a primary source of what scientists call type 2 collagen. This is the exact specific type of collagen that makes up the soft, rubbery cushioning in our cartilage. So when you are eating these parts of the chicken, you are literally providing your body with the specific raw material it needs to help repair your knee and other joints. It is a perfect match.
That is why it is so wise to eat the whole food. When you roast a chicken, it is good to eat some of the crispy skin. When you make a chicken soup, it is very wise to use the whole chicken bones and all and let it simmer for a long, long time. The long, slow cooking helps to break down the collagen from the bones and skin and release it into the broth. This is the traditional way.
So chicken provides that specific cartilage-building collagen. What about fish? Is there a good source of collagen we can get from the sea?
Yes, Our next food is the small but mighty sardine. The great benefit of sardines is that we typically eat the entire fish, including the skin and the tiny, soft, edible bones. These are the parts of the fish that are the richest in collagen.
And it's interesting because the collagen from fish is a little different. It's primarily what is known as type 1 collagen. While type 2 collagen is the main component of our cartilage, type 1 collagen is the main component of our ligaments and tendons, the strong ropes that hold our joints together and provide stability. So by eating both chicken and sardines in your diet, you are providing the building blocks for the entire joint structure, both the soft cushioning and the strong support ropes. It's a very complete and intelligent strategy.
And they are so very simple to eat. They come in a can ready to go. You can put them on a piece of whole grain toast for lunch, or you can flake them into a salad. It is a very easy and inexpensive way to get this important nutrient.
Okay, doctor. Our next food on the list is one that I know can be a challenge for a modern American audience, even though it is incredibly nutritious. Let's talk about organ meats.
Yes, in traditional cultures all over the world, including in Japan, the organ meats, like the liver, the heart, and the kidneys, were considered the most prized and valuable parts of the animal. This is because they are the most nutrient-dense. And for our topic today, they are also very rich in the same type Y collagen we just discussed.
But for someone who has never cooked them and might be put off by the strong flavor or the texture, how can they possibly start to include these in their diet?
You do not have to sit down to a large plate of liver and onions if you do not want to. The approach should be very gentle. You can ask your local butcher to grind a small amount of beef heart or liver for you. Then you can mix just that small amount, perhaps 1 part organ meat to 4 parts of your regular ground beef, when you make burgers, meatloaf, or a pasta sauce. I can promise you the flavor of that small amount will be completely hidden by the other ingredients, but the powerful nutrition will be there. It is a very simple way to reintroduce these incredibly nourishing traditional foods back into our modern diet.
That is a brilliant and very practical tip. It shows that we can find ways to incorporate these traditional, nutrient-dense foods that have been a gift to humanity for centuries, even in our busy modern lives. Doctor eating the skin on chicken and whole sardines are fantastic and simple tips. But the source material for this video promised our viewers a #1 most powerful food of all for collagen. What is it?
Yes, the #1 food, which is really a nourishing drink, is also the most ancient and powerful. It is slow-simmered bone broth made from either pork or, my personal preference, beef bones. The reason it is so powerful is because the long, slow simmering process for 8 to 12 or even 24 hours gently breaks down all of the collagen from the bones, the cartilage, and the connective tissues and releases it directly into the water. When you drink it, you are consuming a liquid, easily digestible, and highly concentrated form of collagen and minerals. Let me tell you about my patient John, a 72-year-old retired plumber from Florida. His great passion in life was playing golf with his friends, but the constant deep ache in his hips and his knees was making it almost impossible for him to walk the course. He told me he felt like an old, rusty machine, and that he was afraid he would have to give up the one thing he loved most in his retirement. He started a very simple habit. Every morning, instead of a second cup of coffee, he would gently warm 1 mug of homemade beef bone broth and drink it on an empty stomach. That was the only change he made. After about a month, he called me. I could hear the excitement in his voice. He said, "Doctor, I walked 9 holes of golf today, and I'm not in agony tonight." For him, that daily cup of broth was like lubricating his joints from the inside out.
That is a fantastic and hopeful story. And what John was experiencing is the real power of those broken down collagen molecules. The long, slow simmering process that Dr. Hinohara described turns the large, tough collagen protein into gelatin and even smaller pieces that we call collagen peptides. These smaller forms are incredibly easy for your digestive system to absorb and send directly through your bloodstream to the joint tissues that need them for repair. You are essentially giving your body a pre-digested, ready-to-use form of the exact material it is asking for to help with the rebuilding process.
That is exactly right. Now we have covered the most powerful traditional food sources of collagen. But in our modern world, there are a few other surprising sources we should discuss.
Okay, what is the first of these modern or surprising sources?
The first is aloe vera. We often think of this plant only for soothing sunburns on the outside of our skin. But some clinical studies have shown that consuming a small amount of pure food-grade aloe vera juice or gel can actually help to stimulate your body's own fibroblast cells to produce more of their own collagen.
So in this case, the aloe vera isn't providing the collagen, but it's acting as a signal to tell the body's own collagen factories to turn on and get to work. That's fascinating. What about all the collagen drinks we see in stores now?
Yes, that is the next source, collagen-infused drinks. This includes things like bottled collagen water or collagen powders that you can add to your coffee or smoothie. These products are a very convenient way to get those hydrolyzed collagen peptides we just talked about, especially if you do not have the time to make your own bone broth.
Okay, doctor, I have to ask you about the most surprising item on the original list. This is going to shock a lot of our viewers. How can gummy candy possibly be on a list of foods for joint health?
This requires very strong and clear warning. Most gummy candies are not a health food. They're often full of sugar, artificial colors, and flavors which are not good for you. However, the reason they are on the list is because of the ingredient that makes them gummy and chewy. That ingredient is gelatin. And as we now know, gelatin is simply a cooked form of collagen. So technically, they do contain some of the building blocks. But the high sugar content is a very big problem.
And that is the critical takeaway for our viewers. The sugar in most of these candies can actually cause inflammation in the body, which is the very thing we are trying to fight to relieve our joint pain. So while it's an interesting fact that they contain gelatin, a warm cup of bone broth is an infinitely better and healthier choice. We are not recommending that people eat gummy candy as a health strategy, but it is a surprising fact about where gelatin is found.
Exactly. It is a fact, not a recommendation.
This has been so thorough and clear. It is a blessing to be able to share this kind of responsible information with our community. To help us see that global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. It's wonderful to see you all here learning with us. Doctor, this has been an incredible and truly comprehensive guide. You've given us a complete collagen rebuilding system to help us start refilling our body's leaky bucket. You've shown us the collagen builders, the vitamin C-rich foods that act as the workers on the construction site. And you've given us a long, wonderful list of direct collagen sources, the actual building materials our bodies need. This is a wonderful natural approach to managing chronic joint pain. By combining these two strategies of providing both the workers and the materials, you are creating a powerful food-based plan to support your joints from the inside out. This is a key part of proactive senior health. It shows that we don't have to simply accept that joint pain is an unavoidable part of getting older. This knowledge is so empowering for anyone who wants to take control of their senior health. It is a practical, gentle, and effective way to address the root causes of joint pain and to improve your mobility and quality of life.
I want to leave everyone watching with this one final thought. Your body has a deep and profound desire to heal itself. Our job is not to force it or to look for some complicated magic cure. Our job is simply to give it the correct, simple tools that it needs to do its own wonderful work. Be patient. Be consistent with these good foods, and you will be surprised and delighted at what your body is truly capable of doing for you when you give it the right support.
That is a beautiful message of hope and patience, Doctor, to trust in our body's incredible God-given ability to heal. And of course, the wisest first step is always to speak with your personal doctor before making any significant changes to your diet, especially if you have existing health conditions or are taking medications. Please remember that our conversation today is for educational purposes. It is not a substitute for the direct personal advice of your own trusted physician. If you found this guide helpful and are excited to try some of these foods, please give this video a like so that more people can discover these natural solutions. And be sure to share it with a friend or family member who is struggling with joint pain. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free and it ensures you will not miss our next practical health guide. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know, what is one food from this list that you are willing to try adding to your diet this week? Sharing your first step in the comments can be a great inspiration to others in our community. Thank you for being with us. We wish you a life with less pain and more comfortable movement.